Pope Francis continues to prove that he is the Pope of the people, especially when he just washed the feet of refugees during a religious ceremony ahead of Easter. Now, he specifically focused on 12 refugees, and in a powerful gesture of interfaith embrace, the pontiff knelt down before a group of 8 men and 4 women, among whom were Muslims. Now, the part about the women is also pretty unprecedented. This is a ceremony that usually is not open to women, but after he became the Pope, he decided to be more inclusive during the foot washing ceremony. Now, it's incredible. You look at this and just, it amazes me. I don't know. It kind of made me emotional, even though I'm not religious in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah. There were also Coptic Christians and one Hindu in that ceremony as well. While we have monsters in this country who are threatening to bomb the family members of people we're fighting against and banning all refugees from the country, and especially based on religion. Here's the Pope, the leader of one of the greatest religions in the world, meaning one of the biggest religions in the world, saying, no, I'm going to go and wash and kiss the feet of the poorest, the most needy of other religions.
Yes.
I mean, what a magnanimous act. What a wonderful act. It reminds you of how great religion can be. People have taken it and used it for terrible reasons, but you see that it can actually be used as a force of good. And obviously that's why a lot of the right-wingers in this country denounce him for it, and this is the Pope that they least like. I mean, doesn't that speak volumes?
It does speak volumes. I mean, the Pope said the following of the ceremony: we want to live together in peace, right? And this is what I think the Catholic Church needed. I mean, I think that a lot of young people were turned off to the Catholic Church because of its, anti-gay message, the assaults on reproductive rights. That kind of stuff turned off a lot of young people. And I think that coming forward and saying, hey, you know what, let's refocus what our religion is supposed to be about loving one another, about taking care of one another, not judging one another. I think that really speaks volumes.
Yeah, they got the young people got turned off to the Catholic Church because the priests were turned on to young people.
Exactly, the pedophilia.
Yeah.
Yeah, and for now, this guy to come up and say, I'm going to bring it back to our roots. Now, look, the reality is Christianity can be interpreted in both ways. Jesus said, turn another cheek. He also said, I come with the sword. So that's why a lot of popes and a lot of religious leaders, or people claiming to be religious, have said, no, the answer is we bomb them, right? And we go after them. But there is another way in the Bible. In fact, what separates Christianity from all of the religions that had come before it was the Sermon on the Mount. And Jesus saying, also, I am the Prince of Peace, and we should love one another and take care of one another. And so it's funny that when a pope goes back to that core message, he gets criticized for it, right? So this is I think looking at him kissing the feet of Muslim refugees, it is the very last thing that demagogues in this country want to see.
Wow.
Isn't that a powerful image?
Don't you think we should keep them out of the country until we figure out what's going on?
No. No. Regardless of religion, I think it's just a beautiful human being showing kindness to humanity, which is what we all need. Not to be divisive or who's better or who's worse than. He's just being, regardless of being a good human being and being the Pope, he's just being kind.
And so but that's so powerful. It's true, because he's not saying, "Hey, this is the way you defeat ISIS," right? He's not making a political statement in that sense. All he's saying is, "Here's a human being, and I'm a human being, and I'm not above anything, and that's not my role. My role is to serve humanity." And by the way, they've been doing washing the feet for a long time, obviously, in the Catholic Church. But to do it in this context at this time, that's him saying, I don't care what everybody else in the world says. I'm going to treat others as humans that are on the same plane as me. Well, that's beautiful.
In fact, I think the most radical thing that he could say was what he said. He said, all of us together, Muslims, Hindus, Catholics, Copts, evangelicals, all brothers and children of the same God. Really? That'd freak out a lot of Christians here in America to hear the that they have the same God as a bunch of Muslims or a bunch of Hindus or Copts. I never heard of that.
But that goes
Coptic
to
Christians.
that goes back to a conversation that we have on the show all the time, and it's in regard to every religion, whether it's Muslim religion or Islam, I should say, or Christians. The same religion can be interpreted in so many different ways, right? And so you can't put the Pope in the same category as a fundamentalist. He's not a fundamentalist. I mean,
And we've had a lot of popes who were.
exactly.
But this guy isn't. And so I'll take any religious leader that humbles himself like this and actually treats people with decency and is open to all of humanity. I take that any day.
I heard recently where fundamentalism comes from in America, that during the Civil War, if you were from the South, you interpreted the Bible literally because it literally said slavery was okay. So that's where all that literal stuff came from, because they used the Bible to justify slavery. And the people in the North weren't literalists like that. They weren't fundamental. So that's interesting. I hadn't known that before. I never heard that theory. And it all comes down to, so it's almost like, so here you see this Pope sitting there kissing the feet of the poorest of the poor, people from another religion, and yet other popes have done the opposite. And it's almost like people can make Bible say anything they want it to say.
Almost. And so, look, last point on that. They're not really literalists, because it also says turn the other cheek. And so if you said to a bunch of the fundamentalist Christians in this country, oh, ISIS just bombed us, so let's take the words of the Bible literally, let's turn the other cheek, they would say, hell no. Hell no, right? It says help the most needy. We say, okay, great, we got a welfare program that's the government. That means that's all of us getting together, paying our taxes, and we're going to help the needy. Hell no, right? And you go down the list, and I can find you on nearly 100 things in the Bible where they would say, hell no. No, they just call themselves literalists just to be able to get to the same demagogic point that they want to get to.